Welcome back. And now for part 2. But first, a word from our sponsors. Scooby-Drew, did you replace my painting with this super cool print of the Ennis house? It's not the Ennis house. It's Angelus's mansion, my home for a while. Suited me well. Who gave it to you? Drawn with knives. Is that one of your funny asides? No, silly Billy. It's from Jennifer, my friend at Drawn with Knives. Why is it called that? She draws all of her artwork with a knife. It is dark and beautiful magic. She's a new sponsor. So the Angel Mansion print comes in either 5x7 or 11x15. Go to drawnwithknives.com. Well done, Drew. Not only am I a polydimensional superstar of entertainment, I'm now a titan of business too. Are there any other memories from set I haven't asked you about? Anything fun that you think would be great to include?
I think what I would take away from my memory of the sets is I was just really enamored with set deck and the amount of work they put into all the props and into the makeup and into the sets themselves, right? Like the master's lair.
Your lair was so cool.
So cool. I mean, just the pool of blood that I'm throwing it wasn't blood, it was water with a red filter, but I was throwing, stones into it. And early in my career, I did a show called Earth 2, and I was a huge science fiction fan, like Star Trek, love Star Trek. And everyone had this monster makeup and weapon props, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm finally getting to do something that's like Star Trek. Oh my God, I was like nerding out. I got that total vibe when I was working on this too, because just the detail and the love and the artistry of what they were putting together from the art department side, I was just like, oh, this is so cool. This is so neat.
I always thought the lair looked a lot like Lost Boys.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just the attention to detail in all of it. And it shows on camera and the way that Michael Gershman lit it. It's really incredible. Did you know that you were going to get killed off? And if so, what was your reaction?
Well, if I were to be told now that I was going to be killed off on a popular television show, I think I would throw something. But back then I was really excited. It was another first for me, right? I got to be a bad guy. I get to be a vampire. So I found out between seasons. So we did season 1. I don't even know if we knew we were picked up at the end of season 1. I don't think we knew. Then somewhere between, 1 and 2, I get a call and they said, hey, we're going to do season 2. Do you want to come on? But we're going to kill you.
So they told you right when they were bringing you back for season 2.
I knew right away I was going to die off. I just didn't know when. Every time you get a new episode, you're like, is this the one I die? Nope. Okay, I'm still here. But I knew it was coming and I was excited for it. I mean, I was over the moon. I'm like, how are they going to kill me off? This is so cool. Am I going to have a fight scene? I'm going to be killed in the cage. Okay. They're going to hoist me into life. I guess that's cool. Okay, that's cool. And it didn't make the episode when they did kill me off, but I screamed like I was on fire, like the whole time. And then, of course, they just didn't do it. They didn't use it. Like,
oh,
I could have been so much cooler. I could have had teeth. I could have died in a fireball. Yeah, they can't do that to kids. They would totally do that now, right? They would totally show all of it. But back then, they couldn't get away with it, I guess.
Did you watch it at the time?
I did. Yeah. I mean, I watched
that. The screaming wasn't there when you saw it?
Oh. I was like, oh, man, they didn't use it. Oh, well, as an actor, we have very little power. We do what we're asked to do, and we do it as best as we possibly can with all of our intent and talent and whatever else we bring, trauma. And then, you watch it and you see what they decided to keep and what they cut away or whatever they do. But ultimately, we're serving a story. Sometimes it's not what we had in mind. That's okay. We're one cog in the machine.
Do you think that you were sitting a lot in season 2 because you'd grown?
I read that online somewhere that was a theory. Maybe it's true. I didn't think I really grew that much, to be quite honest. But evidently I did. It makes sense, right? I was like 11 or 12. I was going to start to go through the change. That's going to kind of put a hamper on someone who's not supposed to change. Vampires don't change. I guess that put an expiration date on me from the get-go.
Do you have a favorite line?
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
Season 2, I started getting fun little buttons, little things to do. I was really enjoying my time right before they killed me. And then one of them was we lost this fight. And I look around and I go, I hate that girl. And I love that line. I love that line so much.
And what about working with Sarah?
Yes. I actually did not have a whole lot of scenes with Sarah. I remember really 3 times, but one really stands out. And that's the one where
Your favorite line, right? After she leaves?
I had my bit and then I scurried away because the vampires, oh, the VIP, we have to get him out of here. So the Slayer doesn't kill him because he's basically like a little ventriloquist dummy. And then I come back and everyone's dead. And I'm like, wow. The scene that I really remember working with her physically touched her hand. We were at the exterior for the high school. It's one of those night shoots. And it was one of those days, it was just we had a very little bit and she was very nice. I don't know if she'd ever worked with kids before either, but we did our bit and that was it. We actually didn't have too many scenes together.
She started as a kid actress.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can see actually some really cute Burger King commercials when she can't even say burger, so she says Burger King.
I love it. I love it. I wish I knew that. Now I do.
Awesome.
I find there's a lot of actors who started a child actor. Now they're working as an adult. I see it a lot.
Have you read or seen Interview with the Vampire? Did you relate to Claudia since she's a character like yours, trapped in a young body?
You know, I haven't read it. I remember watching the movie, but I don't think it occurred to me that there was some similarities there. Obviously, there is. I don't think it jumped out at me when I watched it recently. It's been a few years since I've seen it.
The central metaphor for the show is high school as hell. You were homeschooled all through high school, right? So you don't really have a high school as hell story, do you?
Not really, no. I had a pretty abnormal high school experience. I spent a lot of time reading books. That was kind of my approach to education. I just read everything. And I didn't really have all of the weird, awkward moments. And this goes back to acting again. It's like I had awkwardness. My first kiss in real life was on screen. It's immortalized in the movie Manhood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess there are my own personal oddities, high school as hell moments, is things like that, but not the usual. It's kind of like my own spin on it.
How was that? I always wonder about that with young adult actors, what that must be like. And was it a first kiss for your character? How nervous were you about that?
Very, very cripplingly nervous. Yeah. I wouldn't say I was like socially awkward because I was an actor. So if anything, I know how to fake it. But my character was very much just awkward. If you ever watch that film, it's called Manhood. You would probably know the director, Bobby Ross.
Yeah.
Love that guy to death. I love Bobby. I've done 2 movies with him. I was that character. Like, let's be fair. It was an experience. And it's immortalized for better and worse.
How was it handled? Did you guys rehearse it or did you actually just shoot it?
We just shot it. You can't rehearse that. And they were very sensitive with it. We were all minors. We're all kids. I was 15. Like I said, it was tasteful. It was nothing that was
Gratuitous.
Yeah, thank you. Gratuitous is the word I was looking for.
But it's still to have that moment be a fictional moment and it actually be recorded adds even more pressure to what is already for every human a pressured moment.
Like I said, I do have some of those high school moments, but they just have their own flavor.
Was there ever a time in your life where you felt like an outsider?
Time? Yeah, absolutely. All the time. Still to this day, I would say that's true because I've lived so many different lives, right? I didn't go to school, so I was already kind of an outsider wherever group. All these guys, even the Boy Scouts, I was friends with everybody, but they all went to school together. So they knew each other all the time. So I'm the new guy again. And even just working survival jobs, right? You go through life or even go into school later. Because I did go to college when I was older. So you kind of fake it till you make it. And then you finally start to realize, oh, yeah, this isn't so weird. But even now, I live amongst people who are professionals, people who own businesses or doctors, lawyers, whatever. And I'm the odd man out. I'm the actor. And it's not a bad thing, right? Everyone is excited. They're excited to ask questions about what the business is like. But still, you're the odd man out. It is what it is.
Do you have any college as hell stories?
Yeah, no, I had fun. What was interesting for me was I never had a classroom experience. Not one. I never set foot in the classroom until I went to college. And so that was a bit different. Immediately kind of just figuring it out as I go. I didn't really have a bad experience with that.
Buffy has the weight of the world on her shoulders. Did you relate to that? Have you felt like that at times in your life?
Oh, totally. And I think everyone to a certain extent does feel at some point or another in their life that you carry a lot. As I mentioned, I'm a dad, right? I have the responsibility to protect and nurture and care for these tiny humans and my wife and our household. And there is definitely a certain pressure to being a parent, being a father, that, yeah, there's something to it, really. You carry the world with you and you carry their future is all in what you're doing right now. It can be heavy for sure.
Buffy begins to form her posse, her group that she depends on to fight the ills of the world. Who was your posse growing up, and who is your posse now?
I have been more of a loner, honestly. I don't think I've ever had, much to my chagrin, right? I lament this. Some people, they've had the same group of high school friends or college friends, or maybe they had a really shitty workplace and they're all friends forever or whatever. I have been through so many different iterations of my experience in life where I accumulate people as my posse one at a time. I don't ever like gather a group that carries with me to such an extent. The closest thing, I think, and the guys that I'm really closest with now, I spun up really, when I say independent, I mean independent film company. We had a camera and a dream, and we all had different specialties. And so I'm pretty close with those guys. We went through some stuff, making projects, and definitely did some really stupid guerrilla work, life stories, right? A lot of fun. A couple times had to hide from the police, no big deal.
Is that because you were shooting without permits, or
Oh
why?
God, yes.
Yeah.
All the time. Film LA. What are you gonna do? Am I gonna put $2,000 in my movie, or am I gonna put $2,000 into some sort of permit,
Piece of paper.
a piece of paper, and no one's gonna know? Oh God, there's the cops.
While we were scheduling, we were working around your shooting a commercial. What was that commercial?
I did a bit for Nationwide as the one with the little girl I was talking about, where I got to play a dad. And I drove down to Ohio. Columbus has a ton of independent film, a lot of horror stuff, actually, a lot of horror work out there, and a lot of great crews. Oh my goodness, is everyone so nice out here? And I know you've worked on everything. When you run across a really amazing, close knit team of people that are passionate, that are still passionate,
Yes.
you don't want to let it go. And especially as an actor, when you come in, you're just a day player. You come in, you do your thing for the day, but they have like 9 more shoot days. And you're just like, can I just stay? Would you need me for something? That's how it felt. Every time I go down to Ohio, that's how I feel. Great teams.
Oh, that's wonderful. How did you perceive acting as a child, and how do you perceive it now?
So when I was a child, it was fun. It was challenging. It was a way to get toys, if I'm going to be honest. There's definitely a financial aspect to it. Back then, it was having something fun to play with. And it was something that I really just enjoyed doing. It's something that I always did in some respects. And when you're 5 years old to when you become a teenager, it's just kind of your experience in life. And as an adult, it's kind of taken on another element, another layer where, yes, all of those things are true. There's a financial aspect to it. It's still a career, it's still a job, it's still enjoyable, but it's almost a soul calling at this point. It's like an obsession. I tried to quit this business where I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to do this anymore, right? I've done this for a long time. I'm going to go find something else. And then that little itch, it just doesn't leave you. I thought for sure when I moved out here that I was really done. And it ached. I just couldn't stop. And I don't know if you want to call it obsession, if you want to call it just a calling. That's what I would like to call it. And to me, no matter what it is that I'm doing, I must have film, whether it's filmmaking or teaching or being in front of the camera. It needs to be part of my life to feel fulfilled. In some ways, I feel terrible about that. I have a beautiful family, and of course, they fulfill me, but it's in a different way. I need it. I need the art.
It's how you communicate with the world. It's how you connect to the world. And it's your essence and your being and who you are intrinsically. That's not something you can just decide not to be.
As much as I've tried, some people will ask, and it's so true. They're, should I be an actor? Should I go into it? And I'll always answer, it's only if it's something you can't not do.
Right. If you have to. If you
If you
to
have
do
to, then you
Yeah.
must.
Yes.
And if you can do anything else, go do that because it's a life. It's a whole thing.
You've been writing, directing, and producing as well. You talked a little bit about that group you've been guerrilla filmmaking with. Can you tell us a little bit more about that part of your life?
I went into it with the idea of, we called ourselves Monkey Suit Productions. We're not Monkey Suit anymore. Everyone's kind of gone on to do their own things. One guy is a very successful Twitch streamer, believe it or not. And one of the other guys went into robotics. He was our director of photography, and there he goes. Now he's going to go make robots or something. I don't know. That was a fun period of time where we were coming up with short projects, web content, and just shooting, developing our own skills in the production aspect. We actually ended up kind of parlaying that into working as a crew for hire. We ended up working on a
Oh,
few
right.
different other projects. Yeah. I
Hmm.
ended up falling into the assistant director role for whatever reason. So I ended up first ADing for a couple projects. I can see why people who are first ADs die when they're 50. And that's all I have to say. It's a fun pressure cooker of a job, and I love that kind of stuff, but I don't think I could do that for a career. I think for now, producing and acting is pretty much it. I like to write, but I kind of just write for myself, if that makes sense, because I have a lot of ideas for projects that I just don't necessarily feel are quite ready yet. The most recent thing that I'm working on, and actually it's next week, I'm actually teaching an acting workshop, if you can believe that. Out here is a place called the Grand Rapids Film Society. Really great bunch of independent filmmakers, and they have a old theater called the Wealthy. And have you ever been to a town small theater where it's got a scent, just a beautiful scent? It smells like history, and they're just all so very passionate about movies and filmmaking and
Storytelling.
storytelling. Thank you. They have all these classes to teach how to do filmmaking, but they don't have any actors. They've been calling people out from Detroit, which has a bunch of film actors out there, and of course Chicago, but they don't have the folks out here. I believe they are here. They just aren't discovered yet. So I approached them last year to teach a class, and I said, "Hey, you guys have all of these workshops for filmmaking. Why don't I help you out with the acting side of things? Let me see if I can spin up a workshop we'll both work on together, and we'll train up these actors so that you have a stable of professionals." And they're like, "Yeah, let's do it." So that's next week.
What a great idea.
I'm super stoked. It's going to be an on-camera workshop. We're actually going to shoot cross coverage with people's own phones. So the idea being that they can take their footage home with them and watch it. I've had people write emails. I had everyone kind of give me kind of an idea of what their experience is. And there's a whole gamut. I have one guy who's a feature film director and he wants to know how to get into acting, or he just wants to have that kind of a well-rounded experience. I've got some people who are from the theater side, so it's going to be a blast. I'm really excited for that, actually.
Sounds like it's going to be really inspiring for them and also for you as well.
Yes, I haven't taught for many years. I helped out with a child actor class actually for a little while, but I've never taught adults, and I've wanted to. Oh, have I wanted to? Because it's back to that soul calling again. I just love the work, and I love just talking about acting and just shooting the breeze about it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Have you done theater work as well?
I haven't.
Oh, you would love it.
That's what I hear. Everyone says that theater is an actor's medium, and I think I probably would really enjoy it. But honestly, how do those guys remember the whole play? Right? As a screen actor, I got 2 scenes today. Cool. What's my line? I could not imagine having to remember a whole play. That's a superhuman skill.
You know, you do get the rehearsal process and time, and I always like with a play to actually learn all of my dialogue before I'm even at the rehearsal and even with the book in my hand, but like I still will know it ahead of time. And with a great role, it goes in. Like you don't really even have to work it that much once you're in the belly of the beast of the character. So I think you would love it.
I think I would too. The only play I've ever done, it was Romeo and Juliet, and it was a play in a movie, right? And it was one scene. I had like 3 lines. It's the only time I've been on stage.
That's cool though. What was it like for you?
It was fun. I haven't done any stage work, so it didn't pull me into that. But I've been intrigued for some time. I guess let's put it that way. I've been intrigued. There is definitely a certain anxiety when I think about going into theater because it's like I have this experience with screen acting. I know what I'm talking about with this, but when I'm thinking about the blocking, I'm thinking about all of this other training that other people have taken. And I guess it just seems kind of insurmountable in some respects.
It wouldn't be because you know how when you're working on a really big part on film, and you're right that you're shooting it in sections, but when you get a role that's a sizable role, a lead in a film, whatever that is, and it feels really big in the beginning, you're kind of like, oh my gosh. First you're excited, oh, I got the job. Then all of a sudden it feels gargantuan.
Then the panic sets in.
Yeah, right.
You're like, oh God, I got the
Oh my
job.
gosh. Right. And then there's that process where it goes from feeling so huge to it kind of shrinks back in size where you know the character, you know what you're doing, you get invested and involved in the work. It's basically that. That's what.
Okay, I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this.
Is there a book or a movie you can recommend that you think the Buffy fans would like?
That's a toughie. I watch a lot of pop culture. I don't mean like anything that's kind of obscure. The only thing which just popped in my mind right now is True Blood. I mean, who doesn't love True Blood, right? I'm a huge fan. Well, when it was on the air, that was a great show. I read, you might laugh, I read a lot of Star Wars books. I'm such a nerd. My wife, she's like, I had no idea you were such a nerd. I'm like, no, I just hide it really well. Maybe I don't.
So, what's one of your favorites?
I just finished Twilight Company, actually. It was my treadmill fun. I'm a big gamer, so the fact that it kind of tied in with Star Wars Battlefront was kind of a fun little thing. But there's no vampirism. There's nothing inherent that a Buffy fan would love it. But if you like Star Wars, I guess it was great. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
What are some of your favorite games that you play?
Oh gosh. This Christmas, I picked up a Switch 2 for myself and for my family. Let's be fair, it's for me. But the kids love it. So we've been playing the heck out of the Mario Kart world. I mean, we basically have beaten that game backwards and forwards. And when I have the odd hour or two to play something, recently I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws, and it's a fun game. You're not Han Solo. It's like you're a failing Han Solo, right? You're just making mistakes all over the place, and everyone hates you, and you're trying to double deal, and you're smuggling stuff, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And if I'm not playing that, I love the Red Dead Redemption games. I guess I have a thing for action games, kind of open world exploration. And if I really, really want to get nuts, then I'll go play Helldivers for a bit. I used to really be into first person shooters and the competitive aspect. And it's like get the aggression out. And as I'm getting older, I'm like, I don't have it anymore. I just don't want to feel that way anymore. Where you feel drained, you turn the computer off and you go upstairs and my wife's like, did you win? And I'm like, even if I won, I think I lost.
Have you ever voiced video games?
No. Voiceover is something I'm actually looking more into. I did a Michigan Lotto commercial out here. That's the only recent voiceover work that I've done, aside from when I was a kid, did some Disney stuff. But no, I would love to. Oh God, I love gaming. So like I said, I'm a closet nerd. Don't tell anybody.
Would you describe yourself as by the book or anarchic?
Both. I'm going to cheat. I like to think outside the box. So in that sense, if I can come up with a better, faster, at least in my own mind, way to do it, I will. But if there's rules, I am such a dang rule follower, and I just wish I wasn't. That's how much of a rule follower I am. Like my wife calls me Dudley Do Right. I just can't. I can't let things slide. It's a terrible thing.
But don't you think some of that might come from being a child actor? Because as an actor, you're directed and you have to do what you're told. And to some degree, that could be translated for a kid as rules. And you're being paid as a child to follow those rules. So in a way, it was ingrained into you at a very young age to follow direction.
Where do I send the therapy bill?
What else is a big part of your life these days?
Honestly, just my family. I mentioned them earlier. I've got 3 kids and an amazing wife, and just got a dog a couple years ago, and I don't go anywhere. I'm a homebody. I love having time with my family. They're just kind of my primary focus and driver for all the things that I do. Even the soul calling that is this work, they're the ones who give it fuel and also are patient enough to let me run with it.
How did you meet your wife?
I met her in college, actually. I was taking nonlinear editing for people who don't have the business jargon. Basically, I was learning how to cut movies. And I had a dude that was in that class with me, and he was also taking acting classes. But he shared an acting class with my wife, and we all were invited out to the movies, which is so cute. And we ended up going to see Zodiac, which fabulous movie. Not a first date movie at all, but
right, not romantic.
No, but man, it was a good movie for many reasons. I remember going to meet the dude, and he was like, I'm going to get some ice cream. He just takes off. And my wife was there. She was not my wife at the time. And just introduced each other. And we just hit it off. And the funny thing was, and this is those little things, like you kind of start a relationship or whatever. These little moments, the little thoughts that kind of snowball. And we sat next to each other in the theater. Normally, I always put the armrest down. I'm an armrest kind of guy. I like to have my armrest down, right? But for whatever reason, our armrest was up. And I looked at it and I go, I'm going to leave this up and I'm going to see what's going to happen. And sure enough, we've been married forever. So it worked out real well for me.
That's interesting. You were open to being close and not having a boundary.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to leave this armrest up.
And then did you start dating right away? Was that just it from that moment?
No, we ran into each other a few times running in the same circle. And in just one night we just really hit it off and we just snowballed from there. We've basically been inseparable for 19 years. I couldn't have asked for a better experience.
It sounds like what happened with Dev and I in that there's an immediate ease with each other where you're just able to be yourself and bring out the best in each other.
Absolutely. That's what it is. There's always challenges, right? We're talking about the alignment of the big things in a marriage or a relationship where things are just easy. It's just easy. There's no games, there's no playing around.
Right.
It's just easy. You're always in each other's corner no matter what. For the listeners out there, that's what I wish for you. Honestly, that's it. That's the end game.
I couldn't agree more. And I always listen to people that say, oh, things that start out really fraught. And they're like, oh, maybe it's going to get better. It's like, I don't think so. For both of us, we didn't come from good family upbringings. And so we were repeating unhealthy, unhappy relationships until we met. And it really struck me the ease of it was immediate and a recognition of the other and the fact that it was someone wanted you to thrive and had your back and you had theirs, and it just felt fluid in a way that I hadn't experienced before Dev.
That's beautiful. That's so true. That's just so beautiful.
You talked a little bit about night shoots, but what was that like for you as a kid? And were you still working the same amount of hours?
That was an interesting experience being at a graveyard in a honey wagon. Do you remember the name of the graveyard? I'm sure you were there too.
I think it was Angelus Crest, although by season
Yes.
2, there was actually a graveyard built on the lot, and that's where we predominantly were.
Okay. They did not have that. We went out to an actual graveyard in the middle of the night. That was super creepy. Super creepy. Maybe it was sleep deprivation, but I don't remember too much of the specific time frame. What I do remember was just spending a lot of time in the trailer where I'm doing my homework, for better or worse, and then going to set, doing something real fast and done. Those were very fast days for me.
Who was on set with you, your mom or your dad?
For Buffy, it was always my mom. My dad didn't make it out to any of those shoots. My dad, he was the guy who had the corporate job and hustled with it. He was a bookkeeper. During the week, he was just doing that work. And my mom, we were partners in crime, so to speak, always super tight and working on everything together everywhere we went.
What's the best advice you can give a director about working with a child?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say, just from my own perspective, determine where they are coming from. Let them read the scene, meet them where they are, because you'll find that you'll have some child actors who are just pros. They are the anointed one. They are an adult in a child's body. And I've said for myself that I've been an adult since I was 5 years old. The way I've thought and the way I've approached the work, and that's just always how I've been. But at the same time, there are other kids out there who they found themselves in it, and maybe it's not their dream, and they're going to give you a different type of performance, and you have to approach it differently. You just have to meet them where they are. Kids can be fun. They can be silly, as many of you, I'm sure, are very well aware.
That's great advice. And I think it's actually great advice for directors with all actors, that you meet each actor where they are, because actors work differently and bring different things to the set. So if you allow the actor to come up with things so that you can see where they're going before you shoot it down, that also leads to obviously really wonderful performances.
We're just layers of an onion, right? That's something I really learned when I was starting to put my own projects together, the projects that I directed myself. And I go, oh, as an actor, my job's important, but it's not that important. It's not everything. Everything works together at the same importance level. Everything. It holds itself kind of in a lattice. You can't take one piece out. Everything is at the same level of importance. And as an actor, you should be so wrapped up in your own work. But at the same time, like the sound guy, there's an issue with the sound. Your work doesn't matter, right? The light goes out, your work doesn't matter. If the camera runs out of a camera car, you run out of battery, it doesn't matter. We're all equally important.
It's collaborative, and that's one of the things I love about it, is how everybody works together and brings their piece of the puzzle. It's also the thing that makes it harder as an actor, unless you're a person who's creating your own content and material, is that you are dependent on all these other people to do what you do. So it's a blessing, and it's also in certain ways a curse.
And when it works, it is just magic. it feels so good. Like when you wrap at the end of the day and everyone's exhausted because you busted your butt for 12 hours or whatever, and everyone goes their separate ways and you're like a little family. You've been through this trauma together, basically. You just trauma bond.
It's like war. It's
It
kind of like
is.
you've been at war together, all battling the light, if it's the light's coming too soon, or whatever the things that you're battling, the helicopter ruining the sound, or whatever the things are, you're in the trenches together.
It's so true. It's so much fun. But you touch on something that's really important is creating your own work. That's something that I have been working through for many years, and it's just become more important than ever. For new actors and even established actors, like you got to just make your own stuff. You have to find a way to become a producer, at least for yourself, and have that brain of, okay, how do I make this sustainable? And if acting is that art is a calling to you, you cannot lay that burden on someone else to make you fulfilled. Like you can't just keep waiting for the phone to ring or I'm stating myself, the fax machine to go or whatever, like the email to show up. You can't wait for it. If you do, you're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. But you could be doing the thing that you love all the time. And we have studios in our pockets. It's not a Ronin. You're not carrying an Alexa with you, but you have a whole light package with a whole crew. But what do they shoot Clerks on? They shot it on a 16 millimeter?
Danny Boyle did a whole feature on cell phones. I mean, you're preaching to the choir here because it's so empowering to take that into your own hands, to not wait. And what you were talking about before, as an actor, you are a component of the whole. But when you're creating stuff, when you're directing it, you take the kernel all the way to fruition and you get to drive that train and you get to make all of the choices. And again, that's very empowering.
It's a fabulous experience. I would highly recommend it.
What has Buffy meant to your life and what has that legacy been like?
If you had told me all those many years ago when I was handed a script for a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer that I would be talking about it over 20 years later and have visited other foreign countries and met people all around the world who have that level of passion for a show that I was on and for a character that I played, and that it meant something to their life and their experience. And people have told me they've gone through hard times. And oh my goodness, I am so eternally grateful for being able to be part of people's experience of life. If you had told me that all those years ago, I would have been like, wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't have believed it, but here we are. The legacy of the show stands on its own, but for what it's done for me, the fact that all these years later, I get to have a conversation about what we did on this project and getting to meet so many amazing people all over and share experiences with them. I love having the opportunity to get a chance to chat with people.
I think it's such an honor.
Yes, it is an honor. It is such an honor.
Do you still get recognized for Buffy?
Not in person. Every once in a while, someone will look at me funny. These days, they don't come up to me and like, were you the guy? Were you? I don't get those anymore. I did grow. I did grow.
Well, let's hope so. You're at 10.
I was 10.
10.
I did sprout. And so obviously that doesn't work as much anymore. But I get it more like when people ask, oh, hey, what have you done? I did this. And I was on the Buffy the Vampire. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love that show. I watched it every day after I got out of high school. And they're like, well, who are you? I was like, oh, I was calling the Anointed. Oh, my God, you're calling. So that happens still, which is cool.
And is Buffy one of the ones that gets the most reaction?
Always. There's a couple other ones that kind of pop up, but that's the big one.
This has been absolutely amazing. I have loved hanging out with you, hearing all of your stories, all of the detail that you brought to our chat. It's just been absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And all these years later, I love getting the opportunity to chat about the show and maybe just get to know you a little better, right? We've ran into each other a few times, but I feel like we really got to meeting of the minds. And it's great. Thank you so much.
Hey, Drew, did the mail come today? I'm expecting a package from my friend Alex at Magic Oil Box. He's sending me the Chosen Roller Blend. It's to give me strength, clarity, and legacy. He says it'll give me spiritual grounding and emotional clarity. I don't like this at all. How dare this Alex interfere with the perfect balance of our relationship, giving you ideas above your station? This could be very damaging for you as a minion. I'm not a minion, and I think it's to develop my inner slayer. I need to use it when I meditate. It'll help me reclaim my power. Outrageous. I'll have to pay a visit to this unruly young man. Wait, he has other blends you may approve of. Baddie Baron, Carry Hand Sanitizer, Bloody Vanity Roller Blend. He's a big fan of yours. He says you have the best ideas. I think there might be hope for the scallywag. Mistakes can occur after all. Even I, and I don't want to shock you, may have, in extremely rare moments, potentially been less than perfect. Maybe. Almost. I'm impressed. You're sharing the more human side of yourself. Let's not get carried away, dear simple minion. So, the link is themagicoilbox.com. You can find the chosen one yourself on the website, or the direct link is themagicoilbox.com/products/the-chosen-BTVS. Every slayer deserves a little ritual power boost. Do you not think you should create a special blend for me? I guess. Hey, Drew, what's that lovely smell? Is that my new chosen roller blend? So nice of Alex to send it to me. Hey.
Let's get ready to Buffy!
Vengeance Val was the victor in our first inaugural Battle of the Uber Buffy fans. If you would like to challenge her title and be considered as a contender for this season's battle, please email revampedpod@gmail.com. Yes, be sure to include your name, where you weigh in with your number of watch-throughs, where you're located, something interesting about you, or something you think would be good to share,
and your social media handles.
Yes, woohoo. Woohoo. Boop boop be Drew. Revamptees, please correspond with me on our Patreon page, Revamped with Juliet Landau, on Twitter, @JulietLandau, on Instagram, @Juliet_Landau, and on the Fans of Juliet Landau Facebook group, or Juliet Landau official Facebook page. Patreon peeps to be read in the credits: Dave Hall, Fawny June Kendall, Daniel Harbour, Louise Brennan, Brandon Key, Cameron Burton, Donnie Ruskin, Madeline Pruitt, Marion Stevenson, Antonio H. Gutierrez, and Bobby Pelham. It makes all the difference because we cannot keep making the show without you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Until we meet again.
See you next time when we do it again. Do it again. Until then, rewatch, revamp, reinvent, and be remarkable you.